home of the killers. Welcome to Dallas, sharks and gorillas. The girls, they going harder than welcome to Dallas, we lost some legends.
Hola, 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 ¿cómo estás? Estoy contento. Welcome back to another episode of the Poofy Man podcast. Yes, sir, yes, sir. But this episode is no laughing matter, actually. Because, lo and behold, we've lost a legend in the music industry. That's right. The late, great Dolly Parton died yesterday, or at least it was reported yesterday, after fighting for 4 days in a hospital. She succumbed to a short bout with cancer. At least that's what's being reported concurrently. It's very, very sad. It really is. If there ever were an angel on this earth, it would be Dolly Parton. Let's just rattle off some of her career highlights, just some of her career statistics real quick, okay? So, 60 plus years in the music industry. She composed and released 49 studio albums. 49. The best part of that is the last of which was received globally with great acclaim, and peaked out on the Billboard Top 200 at number 3. She was 77 years old. She wrote and recorded over 3,000 songs, one of which, even if you aren't a country fan, because I am not one, you probably at least are familiar with the song, "And I will always love you," written by Dolly Parton. This whole time it was written by Whitney Houston in my mind, but actually it's a Dolly Parton song. So that's a fun fact. She had over 25 number one Billboard hits in country, a number of Grammys, a number of Emmys. So lest we forget, not only was she a country music star, a music icon across all genres, but also decided to, dabble in a little bit of TV and movie stuff. You know what I mean? What an incredible gal. Gosh, that's a huge loss, man. And did it all whilst also making time for a lot of philanthropic and stewardship type endeavors. One of her biggest what do you want to call that? Charitable pursuits was her reading program. So she grew up very poor and wanted to tackle literacy or illiteracy as part of her platform after she made a little bit of money. And so she founded a subscription book. So they bought up a bunch of books, like millions of books, and then they just sent them out for free to different schools and kids who wanted to subscribe and parents who couldn't afford them and all kinds of stuff. Awesome stuff. I wish I had half the heart she did, honestly. But on top of that, she was also just a pure, like a thoroughbred musician in the way that we just don't really see anymore. I mean, your closest, maybe something like Bruno Mars or something. I'm not even sure it's that, really. And I was lucky enough to actually, I'm not a big live show kind of person. You know what I mean? Like if I happen to be in the area, I don't mind stopping by, peeking in, whatever. Maybe go with my wife or something. But But, if I can't sit, like, it's just not for me. You know what I mean? I got to sit down. These old rickety legs, they just got to bend. They got to sit down. I got to take the weight off. But in 2018, I was fortunate enough to be invited to go to the Grammys when it came back to LA after the 1 year in New York the year before. And there was set after set after set after set. And to be honest with you, it was run of the mill, guys. I mean, and not only that, but it's just like the whole, I just was not very impressed with the entire, like, ceremony itself. You had, I was very honored to be there. I thought it was incredible. I mean, it was really was like an honor to be just invited and to go. And, of course, I wasn't nominated for anything at the time. But, I just felt like no one really took it seriously. I felt like there was, like, the people below us who were nominated felt less honored than the people who were sitting above them to be there. And that pretty much goes across the board, except for Dolly Parton. So she did I was lucky enough to witness it with my own eyes, and it was so impressive. She did kind of a generational kind of set with, like, Carrie Underwood and like Taylor Swift or something. I forget. I mean, they're so forgettable when she was performing, though. Honestly, I swear to God. Remember, she was doing this at the ripe young age of 74, 75 years old, and really made those spring chickens look like garbage. Actually, that's French for garbage. And she was very classy and graceful about it. Her vocals were on point. It was like straight off the CD. And she was bouncing around here and there, and she was super peppy and energetic and brought the light with her. It was incredible. It was the most incredible live performance I've ever seen, and I don't even like country music. I'm not a big fan of it at all, actually. Just so happens I am a big fan of Dolly Parton, though. And, man, like, she has every excuse to have kind of a half-ass, kind of like, puttering kind of concert or, set. And it's like, no, not Dolly Parton. She's a fucking workhorse. She's like a machine. And she takes her shit really seriously, and you can tell she's been taking it seriously for 60 years. That's why she's the best. So hopefully, fucking whatever those other two bitches, whatever they were doing, I mean, hopefully they took a note or two whenever they got to perform alongside her. Anyways, the takeaway was I was super impressed with it. It was so impressive that I decided that at that point I turned to my business partner at the time and said, hey, like, let's go ahead and pop out. No one's going to match that. And so we just burned off. I just skipped out on Post Malone and, Cardi B and all the big bad motherfuckers. I just thought it was not even worth watching anymore, But anyways, yeah. So I mean, it's not all that impressive a story if you've seen her live, but I mean, man, that really changed my whole perspective on just like her and what star power looks like. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, some people just got something inside of them that, you can always get better at things, but there are some people that are just born with the propensity to entertain, to make people smile and to just gawk. And she was one of them for many reasons. She also was somewhat of a sex icon back in her day. I don't know if y'all knew that. But never, ever agreed to do Playboy. Good for her. Good for her. Yeah, because she's a Southern belle, that's why. Gotta love them. She also had the same husband, even at the height of her career, as a sex icon. Stayed faithful to her husband for like 50-something years. He just died a couple years ago, maybe even last year. And they had been married the whole time. What a woman, man. You know, if you're single out there, guys, listen up, listen up. Do not settle for anything less. Go find yourself a Dolly Parton. And then once you get her, lock her down and never let her see the light of day. Marry her. Okay? But in all seriousness, though, yeah, it is sad, and my thoughts and prayers, my thoughts go out to the families, the family of the Partons and everybody that's a big fan of hers. It is kind of sad. So, anyways, this is Poofy, man. You already know the fucking drill. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe. Let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts on it. Maybe you got a couple experiences. Maybe you've seen a couple shows. I'd like to hear. So, until next time, this is Poofy, man, signing out.
Welcome to Dallas, the home of the killers. Welcome to Dallas, sharks and gorillas. The girls, they going harder than. Welcome to Dallas, we lost some legends.